Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute morning. This will be a shorter one. The topic of this one is the claims that certain people are not Muslims has now extended to Osama bin Laden. Yeah. So the story, there's a guy on Twitter who I actually know, met in the real world. He's a real person. He goes by the nom de plume Basil the Great. And Basil, the reason I came into have a friendship with Basil was through him being an ex-space host. And the ex-spaces are like chat rooms on Twitter, which are fantastic. And it's quite ironic because there are people, we catch this, Twitter's bonkers, right? And these spaces are good things, but some people treat them awful like mentalists. And what they do is they sit in Basil's spaces and some of his friends' spaces anonymously and listen to every single word and record every single word. And then what they do is they put them out, wee clippets of them to attack people, right? But things they said, but naughty words and stuff. Now, what's ironic about that is the people are doing it think folk don't know who it is, right? And they have previously, when they're out in their own faces in the world, gone on about free speech and how everybody must have the ability to have free speech. And then spend their days putting together things that people have said and complain all over the internet and in some places in the real world about what people have said. Well, in their own real world, going about free speech. Bonkers. And he's today released a part of a conversation. He told, I wasn't on the space, but he told me about it yesterday, and he's now released a clip of the space where there's a claim being made by a woman called Bushra Shaikh. I think that's how you say her name. She's one of these people, you know, when news reporters and news stations need to show balance and you get a Muslim person on to say sometimes quite outrageous things. She's that person. Total Fruit Loop. You'll see why in a second. But the mainstream media rely on her to tick boxes when they do some reports where they need balance, or she suits their narrative. And I've seen her. I think she started out on, what do you call that? The Apprentice. And all shijab and all that stuff. And as soon as the programme finished, became all westernised and flaunted her westernism to create a career for herself and as a person that now and again pops up in the media. And like other people who do similar, they have to be a wee bit bonkers online to keep the whole thing going. So anyway, she popped into this space that Basil was having the other day. And obviously the German market thing had just started. And people started suggesting that this guy, who I've got another video about him, by the way, we'll be doing after this one, who they claim is not a Muslim. That is based on him saying that he's not. By the way, this is a guy who is wanted in Saudi Arabia and would probably quite conveniently say, I'm not a Muslim because they'll be bad to me if I get sent back there. And it's actually stopped 3 attempts of extradition back to Saudi Arabia. They're talking about that guy, right? And I've got a video about him in a minute I'll be putting up after this one. So Bushra, she's obviously taking the stance that he's not a Muslim. And to justify it, she says, well, Muslims don't act like that. She's then posed me a question about Osama bin Laden. I'll let you listen to the clip now.
History there is difficult.
But regardless of who supported them, right? Regardless of who funded them, the reason bin Laden was doing it was still because he was a Muslim, right? He might have used capitalist weapons or capitalist funding to do it, but he didn't care where that came from. What he cared about was achieving his goal, and his goal was one of Islam, right? Would you say that, Bushra, would you say that Osama bin Laden wasn't a Muslim?
Correct.
You would say Osama bin Laden wasn't a Muslim?
Yes. Yes.
Right, okay. Thanks very much. We'll end that conversation.
There we go. Absolute bonkers. Osama bin Laden is not a Muslim. See, when you have these sort of ideals and those sort of opinions, I can't take you serious. So you could actually tell me the sky's blue, and it might be, but I'll not be taking your word for it, because you are a crackpot and a crank, okay? And a bigoted crank at that, because you cannot, it's one of the, well, you can't say anything bad about Islam. So Osama bin Laden, no, he's definitely not Islamic. right? Wit. Stop it, you crackpot. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please hit the subscribe and the notifications bell. Let me know your comments below, that'll be fun. And most importantly of all, unless you're the type of person that wants to just say stupid things without thinking them through, not you, but
everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.